Good morning, Main Jail. Do we have someone from the Public Defender's Office over there this morning? Hi.
Yes, Your Honor, Laura Lee.
Hi, good morning. We're getting ready to go, so wake everybody up, get them going, get them ready, get some energy in them. All right.
We're ready, sir.
All right, thank you. Now, folks, I do have a tendency to move quickly, so I do need you to listen up for your name. Please step up to the podium when your name is called. Brittany Jackson.
Good morning, Your Honor. Marlise Mercado with the Public Defender's Office.
Here she is. Ms. Jackson, you're being held on a single count of domestic battery. The court does find probable cause to detain you. Ma'am, until further order of the court, there can be absolutely no contact with Kerwin Turner II. What says pretrial? I found no priors. I don't know if you did. Did you interview her for PTR? Is that because you weren't able to verify it, or that the information you gave? Oh, okay.
Sir, she does report that she has an address to report to.
Well, they just said it was not verified, so they tried to interview her.
Because my phone is dead.
Apparently her phone is not working at that address?
No, the numbers are in my phone, which is dead.
In property?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going
Her
to set
phone's in
bond at
property.
$500, and what I'm going to do is I'll ask pretrial to interview her one more time to see if they can get information. If they can, then I have no objection to releasing her to pretrial supervision. If they cannot, then her bond's $500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Clanid Colas?
40 pages.
That's a medical loan, Your Honor.
This was a previous, let me just see something here. All right, at this time, I'm going to enter a no contact order with the child. That being said, I did note, I don't know if they're medical. You folks in pretrial haven't had an opportunity to speak with them then. Okay. Because I didn't find any priors for this person, so they may be eligible. Okay, there you go. So that's going to have to be reset till tomorrow. Omar Bickel, or Bickel.
Yes, sir, he's here at Maine.
Sir, you're being held on a charge of domestic battery. The court finds no probable cause to detain you, sir. The court's going to release you on your own recognizance pending further action by the state. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Marquitas Days.
He's in Maine, sir.
Mr. Davis?
Mr. Days, you're being held on a charge of domestic battery, simple battery, and violating an injunction against domestic violence. The court finds probable cause to detain you, sir, until further order of the court. You are to have absolutely no contact with Lashika Green or Zaija Gooden. The court notes you also currently have a not in custody information filed on you for similar charges in case 17-1599 MM10A, for which you are not currently in custody or out of custody, so I can't remember the police. I note you also have 6 priors as a result on count 1. Hold on just a second, I wrote a note here to myself. Count 1, bond's going to be $25,000. Count 2, $1,000. Count 3, $25,000 for a total of $51,000, sir.
And it's my understanding he wouldn't qualify for pretrial with those priors?
Yep.
Could he be interviewed?
Nope. I wouldn't let him out on pretrial even if they said he qualified based on that record. All right, Anthony Martinez. This was another reset.
I believe he's still on loan.
The next person is a medical.
Mr.
All right.
Martinez is on medical loan.
All right, pending reset, I'm going to set his bond at $5,000 with a no contact order with Carla Ponce Bueno, so that at least he'll have a bond, because I noticed he's been held in custody for about 5 days, it looks like.
That paper already?
But go ahead and reset it for tomorrow. It's off of the reset. None of us will be here tomorrow, so no wonder what that is.
Mary?
I'll be
You'll be here. So if you remember, to let them know, the only reason I gave him a bond is because I didn't want him held without bond. Joshua Gibson, Mr. Gibson.
He's in North Broward.
Mr. Gibson, you're being held on a charge of driving on a permanently revoked license, burglary with an assault or battery, tampering with evidence, and also a capias for failure to appear before Judge Rothschild. The court finds
I don't
probable
understand.
cause to detain you. Sir, until further order of the court, you can have absolutely no contact with Michelle Higgins. On the no bond capias, you're due to see Judge Michael Rothschild on April 19th at 8:30 in the morning. I note also that you're currently out on bond on case 16-4428 CF10A.
Your Honor.
Charge of driving while license revoked, which is a similar charge to what you're also arrested today on. As a result, the court having found probable cause that you have committed crimes while on pretrial release pursuant to Florida Statute 903-0471, your bond in
Your Honor.
case 16-4428 CF10A is hereby revoked. You will be held without
I'm not
bond
on
pending further
pretrial.
order of Judge Rothschild.
Your Honor, I'm not on pretrial.
You're on pretrial release, sir.
I have never been on pretrial.
Well, now you're not on pretrial at all because you're being held without
Yes, sir.
bond. Your bond on the new charges, driving on a revoked license, is $1,000. The tampering is $5,000. Did the state want to be heard on the burglary charge? Because
Your
the
Honor.
court's prepared to give a bond on that charge.
Well, Your Honor, the state would be seeking a no bond hold. The state believes. The state. Sir, my wife is right here. Your Honor. Thank you.
Go ahead.
The state, Your Honor, would argue that based on the evidence provided in the probable cause affidavit, that it would satisfy proof evident or presumption grade.
All right. The court, in this particular case, doesn't feel that a no bond hold is warranted. Ma'am, did you want to say something?
I did. That report that was filed, I wanted to go, not going to participate in revising it. It was a lot to cover that we were not supposed to be in contact. He did not break in the house that day. He was let in. And that's how I went from there. I was advised not to let him in the house by my CI, but I did. And we had to come up with something else.
Okay.
So I will retract my statement
Well, it's a
about
little,
that day.
that's something that's going to have to be addressed by the state or by the assigned judge. That's Judge Michael Rothschild. The bond on count 4 will be $75,000. So his total bond is $81,000, plus he's on a no bond hold for Judge Rothschild. And I do note for the record, he has 34 priors.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
is there any possibility that the court would entertain a reduction in count 4 to possibly $50,000 in lieu of Ms. Higgins' testimony?
No, because he's already, the state has already asked for a no bond hold. Thank you so
Your
much,
Honor.
that's all. That's it,
Your
sir.
Honor.
Sir, you've got quite a record.
That's it?
You're not going anywhere. You're going to see Judge Rothschild.
And
Thank you, sir. Daniel
Clearly,
Glover.
you see I did not do anything.
Daniel
and you're still
Glover.
telling me what I
Sir,
don't have a
everything
record
you're
of.
saying
Deputy,
is
we're
being
finished with
recorded.
him. Will you please
All right, thank you, sir.
remove him? Daniel Glover.
Mr. Glover's in Maine.
Hello, Anna.
Mr. Glover, you're being held on a charge of aggravated battery, causing bodily harm, domestic, as well as... Actually, that's the only charge you're being held on. The court does find probable cause to detain you. Until further order of the court, you can have absolutely no contact with Jamara Perez. The court found 5 priors. What says pretrial? Any others?
No other priors, Your Honor.
All right, so the court's going to set bond at $10,000 in this case.
Your Honor, would you consider a reduction? He does have dependents. He helps his mother and his
Do you want me
sister
to
who
read
has
the
a child.
priors? I'll be happy to read the priors. We can be here all day. I have no problem with that. But if you want me to start reading into the record these folks' priors, I have reviewed their paperwork. I have reviewed their priors. So I can go down that road if you want me to, and it may result in the bonds even being higher if I see something I didn't see the first time around.
No, Your Honor, thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you. Abdelmajid Abulawi.
Yes, Your Honor, he's in
Yes,
Maine.
Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You're being held on a charge of domestic battery by strangulation as well as domestic battery dating violence. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Sir, until further order of the court, you're to have absolutely no contact with Jamie Widener Fulton. Additionally, the court notes 2 priors. The allegations set forth in the probable cause affidavits are quite serious. As a result, the court is going to put you on pretrial supervision with the following conditions: the highest form of supervision, as well as $50,000 bond on each count for a total of $100,000. That's all, sir.
What?
Gail White. Ms. White.
Miss White is at the Paul Ryan facility, Your Honor.
Ms. White, this is to advise you have additional capious hold on you for a charge of battery out of the South Satellite Courthouse. The judge has set your bond, ma'am, at $500 on this charge.
Thank you, sir.
Sarah Lamb.
Miss Lamb. She's present and approaching, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Lamb, you're being held on a capious for failing to appear on a charge of trespass. Ma'am, you have 2 options today. You want to resolve this case in exchange for a plea of no contest. The court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the county jail, credit for any time you have already served, or you can come back and contest the charge by posting bond of $100. What would you like to do, ma'am? Did you get any deal on this? Yes, you can do on staff. I'll just take it right here. It's for the next case.
All right, say that you accept no contest.
I accept no contest.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am.
No
Betty
problem.
Eads.
No problem, Your Honor.
Ms. Eads, you're being held on a charge of DUI and DUI with damage. The court does find probable cause to detain you. What says pretrial? Ma'am, I'm going to release you into supervision of pretrial services. It will require that you submit to an alcohol evaluation, any follow-up treatment that might be required pending resolution of your case before your assigned judge. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Marion Moss.
She's in Maine. Miss Moss?
Ms. Moss, you're being held on 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The court does find probable cause to detain you. Ma'am, until further order of the court, you can have absolutely no contact with Elretria Mack. The court similarly has a recommendation here for pretrial services with the following conditions: $2,500 bond on each count, a mental evaluation with any follow-up treatment, and absolute possession of no weapons. That's all.
So what I do now? Honey,
No monitors. Yeah. Kelly Payne.
No problem.
Ms. Payne, you're being held on a warrant for failing, I think it's for failing group here. Actually, these are change of charge warrant. Before Judge Usan, dealing in stolen property and giving false ownership information. Judge Usan has a bond of $3,500 for you. You're going to have to see Judge Usan on April 19th at 8:30 in the morning, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Courtney Benjamin.
No problem.
Ms. Benjamin, you're being held on warrants. Changes of charge before Judge Dennis Bailey, account of obtaining property over $20,000 by fraud and grand theft. Judge Bailey has you at a $30,000 bond, ma'am, and you're due to see Judge Bailey April 19th at 8:30 in the morning. Melinda Ventry.
No problem.
Ms. Ventry, you're being held on a warrant for violating your probation. You're on a no bond hold pending your appearance before Judge Tim Bailey, April 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning, ma'am. Thank you. Taisha Atwell.
Miss Atwell's at the Paul Ryan facility.
All right. Miss Adwell, you're being held on a charge of grand theft, petty theft, passing forged instruments, illegal use of a credit card, fraudulent possession of another person's ID, possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis, and violating probation. The court finds probable cause to detain you. As to the violation of probation, ma'am, you're on a no bond hold until you can see Judge Duffy at April 24th at 9 o'clock. On the remaining charges, on count 1, the court will ROR the defendant. Count 2, $100. Count 3, 4, 5, 6, $1,000 each. And count 7 is $100 for a total bond for $4,200 in addition to the no bond hold.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Angelica Lopez.
She's in Maine.
Ms. Lopez, you're being held on a charge of grand theft auto and violating probation. The court finds probable cause to detain you.
Your Honor, if I may make an objection to probable cause.
Go ahead.
I do believe that there's no amount listed as to how much the car is costing. It's a 2006 Dodge Charger. We're unaware if it had any damage to it. There is nothing listed in the probable cause affidavit saying how much the car was worth at the time.
Okay. All right, the court finds probable cause to detain you, ma'am. Your bond's $1,000. On the VOP, you're on a no bond hold pending your transport to Osceola County, ma'am.
Your Honor, could you consider a nominal bond on her grand theft auto so she could address her VOP in out of county?
No, she needs to address that here. It involves a Broward County incident, Broward County citizens. Kathy Gideas.
She's here in Maine.
Ma'am, you're being held on a charge of driving while license suspended as a habitual violator. The court does find probable cause to detain you. What says pretrial?
She has a 2012 aggravated assault with a weapon that was drawn. Her boyfriend advised you to post in her home.
All right, so ma'am, we've been advised someone's posting bond for you. So you should be released somewhat soon. Soon. Juland Wirtz.
In Maine, Your Honor.
Ms. Wirtz, you're being held on a charge of aggravated battery and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The court does find probable cause to detain you. Until further order of the court, you can have absolutely no contact with Jamia Anderson or Deshaun Grayhart. Additionally, the court notes you are currently out on release on case 16-1346 CF10A, a charge of burglary before Judge Siegel. The court, having found probable cause that you have committed crimes while on pretrial release, your release in case 16-1346 CF10A is hereby revoked. You will be held without bond pending your appearance before Judge Siegel. As to the new charges, the court also notes you have 19 priors. As to each count, your bond is $25,000 for a total of $50,000, ma'am. You're going to have to see Judge Siegel. Jennifer Jones.
North Broward.
Good morning.
Ms. Jones, you're being held on a charge of possession of cocaine and also a capias for failing to appear on a charge of trespass. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Notes your 6 priors. Your bond on the cocaine charge, ma'am, is $1,000, and on the capias is $100 for a total of $1,100, ma'am. Maura Perez.
North Broward.
Ms. Perez, you're being held on a charge of possession of heroin. The court does find probable cause to detain you. What says pretrial? Well, Ms. Perez.
She has a 2006 possession of cocaine.
All right, ma'am, the court is going to release you into pretrial supervision pending resolution of your case. Condition will require a drug evaluation with any follow-up treatment that might be necessary pending resolution of your case. Thank you, ma'am. That's all. I'm sorry. RR to pretrial with the drug evaluation. Isis Smith.
Yes, sir.
North Broward.
Ms. Smith, you're being held on a charge of possession of alprazolam. The court finds probable cause to detain you, ma'am. The court notes your 21 priors. Your bond, ma'am, is $1,000.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Dawn,
may I inquire?
yes. Smith? Isa Smith, step back up real quick.
Smith. Judge wants you.
Yes, sir.
The public defender wanted to ask you a question now.
Hi, Miss Smith. Are you currently employed?
Not. I was working at the Dollar Tree.
You work at a where?
The Dollar Tree.
At a Dollar Tree, and are you currently missing work right now?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we would just respectfully request that Your Honor would reduce the bond in Miss Smith's case. It is a misdemeanor, and she is currently employed, which she is missing work. Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. It is, we still would respectfully request that Your Honor reduces the
I
reduces
wanted
the bond.
to, but when I saw those 21 priors, I was a little bit concerned.
But sir, I haven't been in jail for a whole
Okay,
year.
hold on, don't say
A
anything,
whole
ma'am.
year.
Yes.
Okay, don't
That's
say
so
anything
good
else,
for me.
ma'am, please.
There you go. Let's try.
Yes.
We'll start a new trend as soon as you get on this one. See how long you can stay out, okay? But this one, you're going to have
Okay.
to post the bond or see your judge. Don
All
Moynihan.
right. Fine.
North Broward.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Moynihan, you're being held on a charge of possession of cocaine. The court finds probable cause to detain you. What's this pretrial? Oops. I found nothing. But then again, she's only lived in Broward a short period of time, so. You do? If you do, that's okay. All right, so the bond is $1,000, ma'am.
Your Honor, if I may inquire?
Yes, you may.
Ma'am, are you currently employed?
No.
No, and do you have family here in Florida?
Yes, I do.
Yes, and if you were to bond out, who would you go live with?
My son.
Your son. Your Honor, we would just respectfully request that Your Honor reduce the bond. She is unemployed, and she does have a place to go if she would bond out to go live and stay in Florida until she takes care of this case.
Thank you. Respectfully, that request will be denied.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Stephanie Soder.
North Broward.
Good
morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. You're being held on a charge of possession of oxycodone, possession of alprazolam, and possession of cocaine. The court finds probable cause to detain you. What's this pretrial? Ma'am, the court's going to ROR you on these charges in pretrial supervision with a special condition that you submit to a drug evaluation and follow any recommended treatment pending resolution of your case.
Your Honor, if I may?
Okay.
We would respectfully request that you would not place her on pretrial release. This is, she does have no priors.
You just want an ROR.
Respectfully, Your Honor.
Based on the allegations, she needs some help. So hopefully the pretrial help will be able to help her.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jennifer Sciascia.
North Broward. Pretrial.
Ma'am, you're being held on a warrant for violating your probation. You're on a no bond hold pending your appearance before Judge Duffy on April 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning, ma'am. You'll be seeing Judge Duffy next week. Okay?
Thank you.
Destiny Barnes.
Yes,
North
sir.
Broward.
Ms. Barnes, you're being held on a charge of burglary of burglary of an occupied structure. The court finds probable cause to detain you. The court notes your 12 priors. The bond is going to be set at $5,000, ma'am.
Your Honor, if I may inquire?
You may.
Ma'am, are you currently employed?
No.
And do you have anybody to help you bond out?
If somebody called my aunt, maybe.
Okay. Your Honor, we would respectfully request that Your Honor would reduce the bond in this case. She is unemployed and has stated that she potentially only has her aunt to help her with bond.
Do note that this is a burglary of an occupied structure, and the allegation is that the victim's son was there at the time, and he is a teenager. So request for release is denied. Montavious Dixon.
In Maine, Your Honor.
Maine. Mr. Dixon, this is an additional hold on you for criminal mischief. The court does find probable cause to detain you based on the allegations and the prior record. The bond is going to be set at $200. Bruce Chandler.
In Maine, Your Honor. Oh, wait, sorry. In Conti, Your Honor.
I can hardly hear Conti. Let's give it a shot and see if I can hear him. Mr. Chandler, this is an additional capious hold on you for failing to appear on a traffic criminal matter. Your bond on this case before in the South Satellite Courthouse is $500, sir.
Your Honor, if I may inquire?
It's a capious. I cannot
sorry.
touch the bond.
Sorry,
Robert Kern.
Conti again.
Thank you.
Good
Mr.
morning, Your
Kern.
Honor.
Good morning, sir. This is 3 additional capiouses for failing to appear on municipal ordinance violations in the South Satellite Courthouse. The judge has set you a bond on each case at $100 for a total of $300, sir. You're going to have to see that judge or a
Thank
judge
you,
here
Your
if
Honor.
you can't bond. Lester Ellison.
North Broward, Your Honor. He's a medical reset, please.
Okay. Wendell Rodney.
Conti. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. These a violation of probation warrant. Judge Terry Ann Miller has set you a bond of $125. Can't post that bond, sir. You're going to have to see Judge Miller.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Alan Teresi.
In Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Teresi, you're being held on 2 capious for failing to appear on alcohol violation related charges. The court notes you have 8 priors. Sir, you do have 2 options. If you want to resolve these 2 charges in exchange for a plea of no contest, the court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 7 days, credit for any time served to run concurrent, or you can bond out, come back and contest the charge by posting bond of $200. What would you like to do,
Your Honor.
sir? Go
Sorry,
ahead.
Your Honor, if I may note, it's a municipal ordinance, and the Public Defender's Office cannot represent him or advise him on this case.
Okay. Do you understand those 2 offers, Mr. Teresi?
Bond out, sir.
You're going to bond out? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bernard McGovern.
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. McGovern, you're being held on a warrant for violating probation. Judge Gottlieb has given you a bond of $500. If you're not able to post that bond, you'll be seeing him next week, sir, but I don't know the exact date. Okay? Thank you, sir. Ralph Simmons.
Your Honor, if I may request a lower bond for Mr. McGovern.
It's a warrant.
He has.
It's a VOP warrant. I can't touch it.
Okay, so you can't touch it.
All right.
Understand.
Ralph Simmons.
We have Mr. Simons here, Your Honor.
Simmons,
I apologize.
Okay. Mr. Simmons, this is a warrant for a failing to appear on a city violation. Sir, the court notes you have 20 priors. You have 2 options today, sir. Your first option is if you want to resolve this charge in exchange for a plea of no contest, the court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 days, credit for any time you've already served, or you can come back and contest the charge by posting a bond of $50. What would you like to do, sir?
Your Honor, if I may say, it's a municipal ordinance, and the Public Defender's Office cannot advise him as well.
Mr. Simmons, do you understand those 2 offers, sir? Those 2 choices?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you like the 10 days times with credit time served, or do you want to bond out, sir?
No contest.
He's entering a no contest, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Next, I have Michael Holmes, but the paperwork
right,
attached doesn't match
down, please go sit down.
my
What are you
cover
going to do?
Please go sit down.
What is it going
I'm sorry? He's been deleted? Okay. Is he there? He's been deleted. That sounds so serious. Deleted.
It's
Okay.
actually my client too, so.
Nothing permanent.
All right. I mean, but I would have given them an offer, but I guess it would have included a few additional days, so I guess they can maybe see him tomorrow. I'm just gonna draw a line across that, because that does not match at all what's there. Alexander Wetter?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. You're being held on a charge of DUI. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Sir, the court notes you have 46 priors. This is a refusal case as well as a higher level DUI. I do note you're currently out on bond on case 17-4240 CF-10A on a charge of driving while license suspended, third or subsequent offense before Judge Dennis Bailey. As a result, pursuant to Florida Statute 9030471, the court having found probable cause that you have committed a crime while on pretrial release, your release in case 17-4240 CF-10A is hereby revoked. You will be held without bond pending further decision of Judge Bailey. On the new charge, DUI, a second offense with a refusal, your bond is set at $5,000, sir. Andre Mwangi?
Maine, Your Honor.
Sir, you're being held on a charge of trespass. The court finds probable cause to detain you, sir. The court notes you have 6 priors. You have 2 choices today, sir. If you want to resolve this case in exchange for a plea of no contest, the court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days, or you can come back and test the charge by posting bond of $25. What would you like to do, sir?
No contest.
All right, thank you, sir. Keenan Leaks?
Leaks is in Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Leaks, you're being held on a warrant for violating probation. You're on a no bond hold pending your appearance before Judge McHugh. I don't have the exact date, but I'm sure it's going to be next week, sir. Christopher Harden.
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Harden, you're being held on a charge of petty theft. The court does find probable cause to detain you. What says pretrial? I don't know if you get in. Christopher Harden? Because of, does the state have a record on him?
Yes, Your Honor. 2015 in Orange County, he had a failure to...
That's okay. The bond's $25. It's the lowest, about the lowest. Thank you. Stephen Price?
Maine, Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Price, you're being held on a charge of petty theft. The court finds probable cause to detain you, sir. You have 2 choices. If you want to resolve this case today in exchange for a plea of no contest, the court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to time served with no return to Publix, or you can bond out, come back and contest the charge by posting bond of $25. What would you like to do, sir?
No contest, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Matthew Smades?
Bonded, Your Honor.
Thomas Rose?
Medical loan, Your Honor.
Miguel Anderson?
Bonded.
Agree, bonded also.
William Labrie?
Bonded? Bonded, Your Honor.
Michael Lewis?
He's in Maine.
Mr. Lewis, you're being held on a charge of trespass on school grounds. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Notes your 2 priors.
Mr. Lewis is currently being supervised by pretrial services on 2 separate cases. One is for a robbery with no weapon, and the other is for possession of cocaine. This new arrest violates his pretrial release.
Case 14-6251 CF-10A, sir, your release is hereby revoked. You'll be held without bond pending further decision of your assigned judge. Case 13-2311 CF10A. Your bond is hereby revoked. And again, you'll be held without bond pending further decision of your assigned judge. The new charge, trespass on school grounds, your bond is set at $500, sir. Gustavo Cavazos.
That's a medical loan.
This is on he's being held without bond, so does he have, I found no prior record. Does the pretrial on Mr. Cavazos? Did you have any communication with Mr. Guerrero, Madam Victim Advocate? First of all, it's the charge of battery, but I believe it's non-domestic, even though it says domestic on the clerk's thing. Gustavo Cavazos, Cavazos.
Judge, I advised the victim that the defendant was on medical loan and I would update him.
But did any feedback at all as to whether he had an objection to release or anything? Or no?
I can call him back, Your Honor. I was just trying to get a hold of everybody.
Okay, I understand. I'm not
I
criticizing. I'm just
No.
trying to get information.
Yes, I understand.
He has no prior record. Based on the allegations, this doesn't seem like a continuing of being held without bond. So I'm going to set bond at $1,000 with the no contact order. Have it be
Judge, I'm going to try to see if I can get him on the phone very quickly to see if there's any other concerns.
okay, if there's any other concerns. I'm just going to set it aside for now, and then we'll get back to it. David Rooker?
That's a medical reset, Your Honor.
Okay. Michael Wagenman?
That's no crowd, Your Honor.
Sir, you're being held on a charge of possession of cannabis. The court finds probable cause to detain you. He was picked up the 12th, today's the 14th. Sir, the court's going to ROR you on this charge. Sir, I do not know your next court date, but if you don't appear at your next court date, you're going to have a warrant issued for your arrest. And I understand, according to the information I have, that you're homeless. So it's your responsibility to check with. It's your responsibility to check with the court to find out your next court date. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
James Donner.
No crowd, Your Honor.
Mr. Donner, this is an additional hold on you, for capias for failing to appear before Judge Fine on a charge of battery. It looks like, it looks like a change of charge. Judge Fine has you on a bond of $1,000. You're due to see him April 24th at 8:45 in the morning, sir.
I can go home today, Your Honor.
I don't think so. You can post that $1,000 bond and everything else, but I have this as a 5th charge, so I'm not sure what 1 through 4 are. Danny Rosales.
I don't know if Your Honor should.
Don't say anything about the facts of the case, sir.
The fact that you're in red concerns me, so you're probably not going anywhere. All right, thank you, sir.
All right.
Danny Rosales.
Mr. Rosales is at the Paul Ryan facility.
Paul Ryan.
He's requesting a Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
Español. Buenos días.
Buenos días, señor juez.
The first thing I need you to do is to advise him not to speak about the case.
Señor, primero quiero aconsejarle que no hable nada sobre su caso.
Okay. Sir, this is to advise you you're being held on 2 additional charges.
Le estoy informando que lo están deteniendo por 2 cargos adicionales.
A charge of sexual battery.
Un cargo de agresión sexual.
And a charge of burglary with an assault or battery.
Y un cargo de allanamiento de morada con agresión.
Until further order of the court,
Hasta que haya una orden adicional de la sala,
there can be absolutely no contact with the alleged victim.
no puede tener ningún contacto con la víctima, la presunta víctima.
Does the state want to be heard?
Your Honor, on count 5, it is a punishable by life offense. The state would be seeking a no bond hold, arguing that there's proof evident or presumption great, pursuant to Brackett v. State, pursuant to the probable cause affidavit presented to the court.
En el cargo número 5, el Estado está pidiendo que no haya fianza por una presunta violación.
But you agree he is entitled to a bond on count 4.
¿Pero está de acuerdo que tiene derecho a una fianza?
Absolutely, count 4 is bondable.
All right, the court has reviewed the allegations in the probable cause affidavit.
La sala ha revisado las...
I'm sorry, I'll speak slowly.
I'm sorry.
All right, the court has reviewed the allegations
La sala ha revisado los alegatos
in the probable cause affidavit,
en el affidavit de causa probable,
including the detail given by the investigating officer,
incluyendo los detalles que dio el investigador,
as well as the statements of the witnesses,
así como las declaraciones de los testigos,
and believes that based on these
y
allegations,
considera que según estas alegatos
there is proof evident
hay prueba
and a presumption great
y la suposición
that the defendant has committed the offense
que el acusado ha cometido los delitos,
of burglary with an assault or battery.
el allanamiento de morada con agresión,
Sir, as a result, you're being held without bond,
y como resultado de esto lo van a detener sin derecho a fianza
and pending your appearance
y esperando a su comparecencia
before Judge Dennis Bailey.
ante el juez Dennis Bailey.
On the charge of sexual battery, your bond
Por cargo de agresión sexual
is $25,000.
hay una fianza de $25,000.
Your Honor, if I may.
You may.
I would be objecting to the no bond hold in count 5.
Me opongo a que quede detenido sin fianza en el cargo 5.
It is the state's burden solely to prove that proof is evident, presumption is great.
Depende del Estado que pruebe esa suposición.
And I would argue, based on the probable cause affidavit,
Y según el affidavit de motivo fundado,
that proof evident, presumption is great has not been proven.
que todavía no se ha aprobado esa prueba, no se ha comprobado.
We do not know. We have not verified. We do not know the witness's veracity to tell the truth.
No hemos verificado o no sabemos la veracidad del testigo.
And at this time, we would argue that proof is evident, presumption is great has not been proven. It is the highest burden and must be proven solely by the state.
Y el Estado debe probar este alegato, la presunción de culpabilidad.
All right, the court finds that pursuant to Preston versus Gee,
La sala declara que según Preston versus Gay,
the evidence in the case,
las pruebas en el caso,
which is established by the affidavit,
que han sido establecidas por el affidavit,
is sufficient to sustain the no bond hold.
es suficiente para comprobar, para tener la orden de no fianza.
Thank you very much.
Gracias, eso es todo.
All right, David Watley. Mr. Watley, you're being held on a charge of driving while license suspended, having an unassigned registration plate on your vehicle, as well as 6 counts of possession of weapon or ammunition as a convicted felon or in the commission of a felony. The court finds probable cause to detain you based on the allegations set forth in the probable cause affidavit. The bond is set as follows: count 1, $5,000; count 2, $100; count 3, $25; count 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, $5,000 each. Your total bond, sir, is $30,125.
Your Honor, if I may.
You may.
Would Your Honor be inclined to reduce the bond on counts 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, or be willing to at least reduce the bond in some of them?
It's going to have, because of the number of weapons that the officers found in this case, as well as his statement, or the passenger's statement dealing with these allegations, the request is denied. He'll have to see his assigned judge. Jeffrey Lagrandeur.
Your Honor, I see, did we miss Brian Kelly on page 20 of the honors docket?
I don't have that paperwork, so I guess either we did or he was deleted.
I have that on my docket
Sounds
as
so
well.
serious.
Brian Kelly?
All right.
I have no paperwork for Brian Kelly.
Okay.
Jeffrey Lagrandeur. Sir, you're
Present
being
in
held,
Maine.
you're being held on a charge of grand theft. The court finds probable cause to detain you. What says pretrial?
Your Honor, if I may?
Let me inquire.
Okay.
Your Honor, he has in 2008 armed robbery attempt conviction. We're unable to verify his address.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may make an objection to the probable cause affidavit, I don't believe that there is a value listed of the phone. We do not know if it was a damaged phone, if it was an older phone. There is no value listed that would prove that this was in fact a grand theft.
Does the state want to be heard?
Your Honor, I would just ask that the court make a PC finding for theft.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would object to that as well. There is still no value listed.
Well, if there's no value, it's petty theft. So that theft is theft. All right, the bond is still $1,000 based on the prior armed robbery.
Your Honor, in lieu of the charge being changed to a theft, would Your Honor consider reducing the bond to $500?
No. Diego Chavez.
Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
Mr. Chavez, you're being held on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Señor Chávez, lo están deteniendo por agresión con agravantes con un arma mortal.
The court finds probable cause to detain you, sir,
La sala declara que existe causa probable para detenerlo
until further order of the court.
y hasta nueva orden de la sala.
You can have absolutely no contact with Jimmy Ramirez.
No puede tener ningún contacto con Jimmy Ramírez.
The court is setting your bond, sir, at $50,000.
La sala está imponiendo una fianza de $50,000.
Call, sir. Bryce Tybalt.
Maine, Your Honor.
Sir, you're being held on a charge of possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Your bond is $1,000. You're also being held on a warrant failing to appear before Judge Zeller. She has you on a no bond hold, sir. You're due to see her next week, April 19th at 1:45 in the afternoon.
Thank you.
Rico Thomas.
Maine, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Also, we do have Mr. Thomas's mom here as well.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, you're being held on a charge of resisting an officer without violence. You're also being held on violation of probation, a warrant for violating probation, a warrant for grand theft, a warrant for fraudulent use of another person's identification. On the new charge, the court finds probable cause. Your bond is $100. On the grand theft charge, you have a bond of $1,000. On the fraudulent use, $1,000. However, on the two violation of probation matters, actually it's the same exact case. You're on a no bond hold pending your appearance before Judge Hames. You're due to see Judge Hames April 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning, sir. So, ma'am, he's going to be before Judge Hames at, next week, April 19th, at 9 a.m. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Omar Morgan.
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Morgan, you're being held on a charge of dealing in stolen property and giving false ownership information. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Notes your 12 priors. As a result, your bond on each count is $3,500 for a total of $7,000.
Your Honor, would you entertain a lower bond on those cases?
Not based on the record that the court saw. Shane Paul.
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Paul, you're being held on a warrant for violating your probation. So you're on a no bond hold pending your appearance before Judge Rothschild, April 19th at 8:30 in the morning, sir.
Thank you.
Krish Carter.
That's Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Carter, you're being held on 2 warrants for violating probation. You're on a no bond hold pending your appearance before Judge Usan on April 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Abelardo Soto.
Maine, Your Honor.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir. You're being held on a charge of petty theft, giving false ownership information, and dealing in stolen property. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Sir, the court notes you're currently out on bond in case 16-3530 CF10A for similar charges, one count of dealing in stolen property, another count of grand theft. The court having found probable cause that you have committed crimes while on pretrial release, your release in case 16-3530 CF10A is hereby revoked. You're to be held without bond pending further decision of Judge Dennis Bailey, your assigned judge. In the new case, on the petty theft, your bond is $25, false ownership information $1,000, and dealing in stolen property $3,500, sir. That's all. Jared Kashner.
Maine, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. You're being held on a charge of possession of methamphetamine. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Notes your 8 priors. Your bond is $1,000, sir. Jamel Dahl.
Your Honor, would you entertain a bond reduction on Mr. Kashner?
I seriously considered higher on him because of his 8 charges, but I left it at the scheduled bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Dollar? Sir, you're being held on a charge of domestic battery by strangulation, abuse of a child, domestic battery, and 2 counts of violating probation. Sir, the court finds probable cause to detain you. The court notes your 6 priors. Also will note until further order the court, you can have absolutely no contact with Jacqueline Lavery and Ava Reed. On the violation of probation cases, you're due to see Judge Tim Bailey April 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. On the charge of domestic battery by strangulation, your bond is set at $25,000, abuse of a child $5,000, and domestic battery $25,000 for a total of $55,000. You'll likely be you'll likely be going to Judge Jeff Cohen. I'm not sure. This kind of looks like it got out of order.
Actually, if he's on probation, that's where the DV cases actually will stay.
So the DV will go to Judge Bailey?
That's how they
Okay, so you'll be seeing Judge Bailey on all of these charges, sir.
On the 9th.
You're on.
It used to be the other way. The DV judge got everything. Rodley Virgili?
Maine, Your Honor.
Sir, you're being held on a charge of possession of a weapon as by a convicted felon. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Note your 26 priors. Sir, your bond is $5,000.
Thank you.
Willie Bird.
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Bird, you're being held on warrants for violating probation. You're on no bond holds pending your appearance before Judge Fine, April 24th at 8:45 in the morning, sir.
Your Honor, I know these are violations of probation, but they do seem to date from 91 and 1990. Mr. Bird has told me that he is a veteran. We were hoping you would entertain a bond on these cases, Your Honor.
Well, they're old cases, but the VOP warrant was signed in 2014. So he's actually been avoiding these warrants for several years. He's going to have to see Judge Fine. Elon Mazzari.
Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor.
Ms. Missouri is here as well.
I'm sorry, what's your name, ma'am?
Michelle Norman Store, Milan Maseri's mother, stepfather.
You're Elon's mother?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, you're being held on a charge of burglary of an unoccupied conveyance and grand theft. The court does find probable cause to detain you. You folks live in Palm Beach County?
I do, sir.
Okay. What's this pretrial?
Your Honor, it appears that the defendant has at least 6 open cases in Palm Beach County.
Okay. I'm going to set bond as follows. It's going to be $1,000 on each count for $2,000, and he's due to see his assigned judge April 24th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Williams Giles.
Maine, Your Honor.
Sir, you're being held on a warrant for uttering forged instruments and grand theft. Your bond is $2,000. Sir, you're due to see your assigned judge April 19th at 8:30 in the morning.
So I can't bond?
You can bond. Kareem Stomer.
Maine, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Stomer, you're being held on a warrant for violating probation. You're on a no bond hold pending your appearance before Judge Colra, April 19th at 8:30 in the morning, sir.
Thank you.
Fritz Stork.
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Stork, you're being held on a warrant for violating probation. You're on a no bond hold pending your appearance, actually pending transport to Palm Beach County, although I do have, why do I have this Palm Beach? But then I have a note. Oh, you were in Palm Beach County. I got it. They've sent you here.
Just got transported the other day.
You're due to see Judge Rothschild April 19th at 8:30 in the morning, sir.
Thank you.
Calvin Johnson.
No problem, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnson, you're being held on a charge of possession of burglary tools. The court finds probable cause, notes one prior. Was there a juvenile record in this as well? I just need no yes or no. I don't need to know what they are. Okay.
Your Honor, if I may?
You may.
I'd like to make an objection to the probable cause affidavit. I'd argue that there was no proof of intent. It merely lists that there was screwdrivers and cell phones and miscellaneous tools. I would argue that this isn't specific enough for probable cause for possessing burglary tools. Also, I would object to finding probable cause in possession of the drug paraphernalia. It doesn't show that it was field tested
He's not being
positive
held
for
on
cocaine.
that. He's
Sorry?
not being held on that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We'll just object to probable cause, I guess.
The affidavit also shows that he was concealing himself behind a residential pillar, and he was wearing dark, heavy clothing, had a beanie cover pulled down over his face. So I think that, coupled with, is pretty good indication of intent. His bond is $1,000. Kobe.
If I may inquire?
Yes.
Hi, sir. Are you currently employed?
Yes.
Yes. So are you currently missing work?
Yes. Right now at this very moment.
Okay. And do you have family here?
I don't see anybody sitting down, so they're working too.
Well, do you have family that could help you bond out?
No, not at all. I was hoping that
Hold
I
on.
could
Don't
get.
say anything about the facts of the case.
Yes, ma'am. I know. I was just hoping if I could get pre-trial so I could go to work, cause I was just sitting in front of a
Oh wait, hold
friend's
on.
house
Let's not say anything else, sir. Hold on one second. Your Honor, I would respectfully request that you reduce the bond, or in the alternative, release him on pre-trial.
The request will be denied. I do note that he is on probation, so.
Would Your Honor consider reducing the bond?
No. Okay, Mr. Greer? Kobe Greer?
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Greer, you're being held on a charge of grand theft auto and violating probation. The court does find probable cause to detain you. So your bond on the grand theft is $1,000. However, you're being held without bond until you see Judge Usan April 19th at 8:30 in the morning.
Thank you.
Mark Hetzel? Sir, you're being held on a charge of grand theft. The court finds probable cause to detain you. The court notes your 17 priors, sir. As a result, your bond is $2,500. Adrian Pena Avila.
No problem, John. We're gonna need a Spanish interpreter, please.
Mr. Pena Avila,
Señor Piña Ávila,
you're being held on a charge of using a scanning device to defraud.
lo están deteniendo porque usó un dispositivo para escanear y estafar.
The court has reviewed the officer's affidavit.
La sala ha revisado el affidavit del agente.
I do find probable cause to detain you.
Declaro motivo fundado para detenerlo.
And based on the allegations set forth in the affidavit,
Y según los alegatos que están en el affidavit,
I'm setting your bond at $10,000, sir.
voy a imponer una fianza de $10,000, señor.
That's all.
Your Honor, if I may inquire.
You may.
Sir, are you currently employed?
Señor, ¿tiene usted trabajo en este momento?
Trabajo, estaba haciendo Lyft, conduciendo Lyft.
I was driving a Lyft.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Do you have any family here?
Señor, ¿usted tiene familia aquí?
tengo un primo, pero no he podido comunicarme con él porque no tengo su número, pero tengo su dirección.
I have a cousin here, but I haven't been able to call him because I don't have his phone number, but I do know his address.
Okay, and would your cousin be willing to help you bond out?
¿Usted cree que su primo le quiere ayudar a poner a pagar la fianza?
Sí,
Yes.
Is your cousin working?
¿Su primo trabaja? ¿Tiene trabajo?
sí.
Yes.
Your Honor, we just respectfully request that you reduce the bond to $7,000. He was employed, but he can't get a hold of someone that could potentially help him bond out.
Le pedimos que reduzca la fianza a $7,000. Él podría ayudarlo a pagar el dinero de la fianza si es que logra comunicarse con él.
The request will be denied.
¿Cuánto sería?
Se
¿Cuánto
niega
sería?
la petición.
Also, Your Honor, may I request a picture order?
Yes.
Me quiero hacer una orden para que se le tome una fotografía.
Someone is going to come and take a picture of you for your injury. Okay?
Señor, para que sepa, alguien va a ir a tomarle una fotografía para que se vea la lesión que usted tiene.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ok, ¿cuánto? Una pregunta. Una pregunta. No he podido comunicarme con mi familiar porque no puede hacer llamada
I
internacional.
haven't been able to call any relatives because I cannot make any international calls.
Well, it sounds like your only choice is to get in touch with your cousin, who then can reach them.
Suena como que la única persona en la que usted puede comunicarse es con su primo.
Did you have a phone, sir, when they arrested you?
¿Usted tenía un teléfono consigo cuando lo arrestaron, señor?
Sí, pero está dañado, no sirve.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. It's not working.
It's not working.
Otra pregunta, señora.
I have another question, sir.
Okay.
Sí.
¿Cuánto sería el total que debería pagar mi primo?
How much would be the total amount that my cousin would have to pay?
Okay. The bond is $10,000, sir.
La fianza es de $10,000, señor.
So if you cannot make that bond, you're going to have to wait until you see your assigned judge.
Así que si no puede pagar la fianza, tiene que esperar hasta que lo lleven frente al juez que le han asignado.
Okay.
Eso es
That's
todo.
Y una última pregunta.
One last question.
No tengo derecho a pagar el 10% de la fianza.
Don't I have the right to pay 10% of that bond?
Sir, that has nothing to do with me.
Eso no tiene nada que ver conmigo, con este juez, señor.
Tell him that he can go to a bondsman, and then that can be the 10%.
Usted podría ir o hablar con un financista para que así pueda poner el 10% de la fianza.
Aquí está.
¿Cuánto sería el 10%?
That's all.
¿Cuánto sería el?
That's all. I'm not going to get involved in negotiating a bond here. That's not it. That's not what judges do.
Yo no voy a hablar sobre cómo negociar su fianza. Eso no es lo que los jueces hacen.
That's all. Thank you.
Eso es todo.
Jonathan Plancher.
Última pregunta.
No más preguntas. Hasta luego.
Mr. Plancher is bonded out.
Thank you. Howard Wims.
Maine, Your Honor, this is another municipal ordinance, and the public defender's office cannot advise him as to the two newest charges.
Well, he's being held on a capias, so I wasn't going to be able to give him an offer anyway. But on the Mr. Wims, you're being held on a charge of a municipal ordinance violation as well as a capias for failing to appear before Judge Porth. On the new charge, the court finds probable cause. Your bond is $25. However, sir, you're on a no bond hold until you can see Judge Porth. You're due to see him April 24th at 8:30 in the morning, sir.
Can I get an offer on this
I'm sorry?
on the new charge?
Sorry, he's asking for an offer on the two municipal ordinance
Sir,
charges.
until you see Judge Porth, you need to do that first. I don't want to set you up for something that's going to affect you before him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Lionel Beaumont?
In Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Beaumont, you're being held on a warrant for violating your probation. Sir, you're on a no bond hold until you can see Judge Spicer. You're due to see him April 19th at 8:30 in the morning, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nicholas Francis.
Maine, Your Honor.
How are you? Hi, how are you, Mr. Francis?
Good, thank you.
You said he's at Maine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Francis, you're being held on several charges: possession of cannabis, trafficking in MDMA, possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting an officer, driving on a suspended license as a habitual offender, violating probation on 2 counts. The court finds probable cause to detain you.
Your Honor, before you do so, I'd just like to address one of the charges.
Sure.
If you would. There's a trafficking charge, Your Honor. That's got a $75,000 bond. I'd like to address that bond also, but as far as the charge itself goes, it appears that the crime that causes this to be trafficking rather than possession is being in possession of 10 or more grams. It appears that there's about 11 grams here, and it appears that the police weighed the MDMA with the baggies. I know that the baggies weigh at least a gram. There's 2 separate baggies. That's 2 grams. It looks like the MDMA would likely be under the 10-gram threshold. So I would submit to the court that there's not probable cause for the trafficking charge, but rather just for the possession charge.
Does the state want to be heard?
Your Honor, Mr. Haas is speculating how much baggies weigh. The weights are given by the officer. I'd ask the court to rely on the evidence that's in the 4 corners.
And I would say that this is probable cause, too.
Well, and I would submit that means probably it's more than 10 grams, and I would suggest to the court
Looks like probably it is to me.
with the bags.
Because it says the MD was in a bag with a knot, weighed 10.8 grams, and the other baggie weighed 0.9 grams. That's a total of 11.7 grams.
Right, and we know the baggies, I know.
No, I don't know.
Oh,
I've never weighed a baggie.
I'm sure Mr. Linder knows, and I know, just from practicing criminal law, that the baggies weigh at least a gram each.
Okay. The court finds probable cause.
In light of that, Your Honor, and in light of the argument that I just made, I would ask that the court consider reducing the bond of $75,000 on the trafficking.
Well, you know he's being held without bond for Dade County.
Yes, I am aware of that, and I'm going to be representing him on the violations of probation in Dade County.
Okay.
I'd like to be able to take care of those, but I'm not going to be able to take care of those first until he's able to post bond on the Broward County
What says
charges.
the state on the bond issue?
Your Honor, we would ask that the convenience bond be kept in place. Mr. Francis has numerous priors, including 2013 felony possession controlled substance with a VOP, 09 trafficking in MDMA between 10 and 200 grams. He was sentenced to 42 months state prison. 09 possession of marijuana with intent to sell, possession of felony controlled substance, 42 months state prison.
Looks pretty serious to me, Mr. Haas.
I understand. He's not a flight risk, however. I can tell the court that. I've represented him in the past, and I can assure the court that he'll return to court just as he has historically, always in the past. Based on that, Your Honor, I just would like a bond in an amount that's not so excessive to allow him to post it, but to also assure his presence at subsequent court appearances. That's why I would ask the court to set the bond at $10,000 on that, and he'll have a total bond of about $15,000. That will allow him to retain me and allow him to appear in court in Dade County and then in Broward County on the Broward County charges.
And, Your Honor, the case that Mr. Francis is on probation for also includes a charge he was convicted on of showing fleeing and eluding law enforcement.
All right, the bond on count 2, I'll set at $25,000. The other counts will remain the same.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. That's it. Tyron Smith. Mr. Smith?
No Broward, Your Honor. No Broward.
Mr. Smith, you're being held on a charge of possession of cocaine, tampering with evidence, and capias for failing to appear. The court finds probable cause to detain you, sir. Your bond is $2,025. Luke Carmichael?
No Broward.
Pulling out your pecker.
Mr. Carmichael, you're being held on a charge of public exposure. The court finds probable cause to detain you, sir. Your bond is $100. However, you're also being held for a parole violation. You're going to be held for
Yes, sir.
department.
All right. Yes, sir.
Is there what, a time? Oh, he's gone. Okay. Fast to come and get him. The Department of Corrections on a parole bond. Is it 30 days?
That's
Probably 30
one thing I
days.
didn't really know.
Antonio Telfair?
Maine, Your Honor.
Sir, you're being held on a charge of grand theft auto. The court finds probable cause to detain you, sir. Your bond is $1,000.
Thank you.
Sabian Tyson.
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Tyson, you're being held on a charge of possession of hydrocodone, possession of oxycodone, delivery of a scheduled substance within 1,000 feet of a designated place, and possession of cannabis over 20 grams. The court does find probable cause to detain you, sir. Your total bond, sir, is $10,500. Juvens Alcius.
Your Honor, would you be able to entertain a lower bond than that? He has been in Broward for over 5 years.
What says
He
the
does
state?
have family.
State on the priors.
I'm showing Mr. Tyson was arrested on felony charges March 1st of this year and January 18th of this year. Neither case is filed, but I believe they're drug charges.
The bond remains the same. Juvens Alcius. Mr. Alcius,
Maine, Your Honor.
being held on a charge of possession of cannabis over, actually less than 20 grams, possession of cocaine, and possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a convenience business. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Somehow I missed this one too. What is the priors?
Mr. Alcius is out on release on a filed charge of dealing in stolen property, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, if I may make an objection to the finding of probable cause for the possession of cocaine, I do not believe that it was or crack cocaine, I don't believe it was field tested.
It says it right.
I believe the marijuana was only field
Oh,
tested.
marijuana. Does the state want to be heard?
Your Honor, I would just ask for time to perfect.
Okay. You have a case number you said he's currently out on?
Yes, 15-16366 CF10A.
And one count is dealing with stolen property?
Yes, Judge.
And who's the judge?
Judge Usong.
All right, so it's 48 hours to perfect on counts 2 and 3.
Your Honor.
The court having found probable cause that the defendant has committed a crime while on pretrial release, the defendant's release in case 15-16366 CF10A is hereby revoked. He'll be held without bond pending further appearance before Judge Usan. Devon Brown.
Mr. Brown's in Maine, Your Honor.
You have nothing, right, Brown?
Mr. Brown, you're being held on a charge of delivery of a scheduled substance within 1,000 feet of a convenience business, possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a convenience business, and possession of methamphetamine. I believe that's the same officer, so I want to see if it's the same issue. These went off. The court finds probable cause to detain you. What says the status to priors?
One moment, Your Honor. I'm showing no Broward priors. I'm not showing any record, Your Honor.
All right. Court will set bond at $1,000 on each count for a total of $3,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Lawrence Burr.
Maine.
Mr. Burr, you're being held on a charge of manufacturing cannabis as well as possession of cannabis. Actually, you're not being held on possession, just manufacturing. The court finds probable cause. What says the state?
One moment, Your Honor. Sir Berg has, I just see a burglary from the early 80s out of Broward, Your Honor.
Mr. Berg, you live here in Broward?
Yes, sir.
How long have you
Yes,
lived
sir.
here, sir?
My whole life, 50 years.
Your booking information is 0, so I guess that's wrong. But it has an address in Plantation. All right, the court's going to release you in a supervision of pretrial services. ROR you to pretrial services. Standard conditions. Nay Lopez de la Cruz.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Michael Lane.
Maine. Sorry. He's here, Your Honor.
Mr. Lane, you're being held on a charge of grand theft auto. The court finds probable cause. What says the state?
Your Honor, I'm showing he has a criminal history.
Okay, your bond is $1,000. Belizaire Dactus.
Bonded.
Dactus?
Dactus
Bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Marlon Johnson.
Maine.
Come on, y'all. Stay with me, King Davis.
Mr. Johnson, you're being held on a charge of driving while license suspended on third or subsequent offense. The court finds probable cause to detain you. What says the state?
Your Honor, Mr. Johnson is currently out on release on a filed possession of heroin.
Okay. His bond is $750.
Your Honor,
yes?
if I may request, he says that his credit card is currently in property. Could we get an order for him to be able to access his card so he could pay the bond?
You can pay the bond on a credit card?
I believe he just needs the numbers.
Okay.
I think you can. I don't even think an order's needed. If they tell him he's ready to self-bond, they'll let him.
Sure. If they need an order, I don't have a problem signing it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I wonder if you get like frequent flyer points for
that would be
bond on your credit card. Mr. Hall, sir, you're being held on a charge of burglary on an unoccupied conveyance, grand theft with property damage greater than $1,000, driving while license suspended, possession of burglary tools, and criminal mischief. The court finds probable cause to detain you. Note your 16 priors. As a result, your bond is as follows. Count 1, $7,500. Count 2, $7,500. Count 3, $100. Count 4, $1,000. Count 5, $25 for a total of $16,125. Lee Anthony Drawer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Maine.
Mr. Drummer, you're being held on a warrant for violating community control. You're on a no bond hold pending your appearance before Judge Merrigan, April 19th at 8:45 in the morning, sir.
Thank you.
Troy Jardina.
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Jardina, you're being held on a warrant. I think this is change of charge. For, or not in custody warrant, for a charge of burglary of an unoccupied conveyance. So I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. You're set to see Judge, actually I didn't write the judge's name down.
Usan.
FP, is Usan? Usan, April 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning, sir.
Your Honor, could we just have a clarification on what the charge is now that there's been a change of charge?
It
wasn't a change of charge, I misspoke. It was a not in custody.
It's attempted burglary.
Actually, it's changed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, it isn't. It's changed to attempted burglary. Correct?
No, it's a not in custody, but it's attempted burglary.
Attempted burglary. It's not burglary, but attempted burglary.
Yes.
See if I can. Your Honor, considering that it's an attempted burglary, could we get a lower bond than the $5,000 that you just set?
No. Thanks for asking. No.
Thank you, though, Your Honor.
Devin Lewis Ward.
Maine, Your Honor.
Mr. Ward, you're being held on a warrant for violating probation. You're on a no bond hold pending your appearance before Judge Tim Bailey, April 19th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Dion Jackson. All right, this one you just gave me. Mr. Jackson, you're being held on a charge of dealing in stolen property, carrying a concealed firearm, possession of a short-barreled weapon, use or display of a weapon during a felony, possession with intent on a scheduled controlled substance, possession of cannabis over 20 grams, and carrying a concealed firearm. Give me just a moment to look at your paperwork. Oh, this is like the co-defendant for the previous previous defendant that we had.
Oh, I always think to ask you golf stuff. No. It's a Friday.
Someone's mic's on.
Okay. Is count 5 and count 6 dealing with the same?
One moment, Judge.
The same substance? Am I missing something here?
Yeah, yes, it appears they charged possession and possession with intent.
All right, so count 5 is going to be ROR. All right, so since I just got these, what says the status to record for Mr. Jackson?
Your Honor, as an adult, I show possession of cannabis from last year. He's not on my list. Pretrial may have more information. With
Is there a
regards to-
juvenile record, or you don't know?
I don't know. That,
What says pretrial?
No other priors, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so count 1, dealing with stolen property, the bond is going to be $2,500. The court finds probable cause. Carrying a concealed weapon, court finds probable cause $1,000. Count 3, possession of a short-barreled gun or rifle. That one I'm not sure about.
it's, one moment, Judge.
I'm sorry?
Your Honor, one moment. I'm just looking at the...
While you're looking at that, display of a weapon during a felony is court finds probable cause. Possession of cannabis, count 6, court finds probable cause. Carrying a concealed firearm, count 7, court finds probable cause.
Your Honor, I can check to be certain, but I believe the AK-47 falls under that statute.
Okay. All right, count 3, court finds probable cause. So count 3, the bond will be $2,500. Count 4, $2,500. Count 6 and 7, $1,000 each. That's a total of $10,500. Okay. Calvin Shepard.
Conti, Your Honor.
Trafficking, please, yes.
Is there anyone else at Conti?
Sorry, no, sir.
Okay. What about Melissa Connors? Where is she?
No problem, John.
It's a perfection. Judge Robinson just wanted more details in addition to the defendants. I'm sorry, Your Honor?
As to all 3, I see.
Yes, to everything, just more than the defendant's confession, so I provided a supplement.
The only thing that I have is the original one.
No, I provided the clerk with...
Do you have paperwork from Melissa Connors? Thank you. All right, Ms. Connors, you're here on a charge of grand theft over $300 and 2 counts of illegal use of a credit card.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me take a quick look. All right, the court finds probable cause to detain you on these charges. What says pretrial?
Her address was verified by her mother.
Ms. Connors, how long have you lived here in Broward County, ma'am?
I just moved here 3 months ago, sir.
From where, ma'am?
Sebastian, which is Indian River.
Okay, and so you were able to check all counties?
Yes.
Okay. Are you working here, ma'am?
No, I'm on disability, sir.
SSI or something else?
SSI, SSDI, I received both.
I'm going to release you into supervision of pretrial services, but I want to warn you, ma'am, that if you violate any conditions of release, pending resolution of your case, you're likely to be taken back into custody and held in
Yes,
jail
sir.
until such time as your case is resolved, which could be months. Do you understand that?
Okay, can you explain to me what pretrial release
An
is?
officer is going to, or you're going to be directed to walk across the street. Are they open today? Because it's they're to walk across. Actually, she's in North Broward.
I got it right here.
You got, okay, so you're going to be instructed to report to them. You're going to be given a deadline to report, and then you're going to be given some general instructions. Usually it's that they want you to either call in or meet in person so many times a week. I don't know exactly what it is now for general. Is it called phone in or is it?
Phone in 2 times a week.
Phone in 2 times a week. They're going to ask you some
Yes,
general
sir.
questions, and they're going to make sure that you come to court. If
Yes,
you
sir.
don't forget to call in for whatever reason, it likely result in them issuing a request for the court to revoke your release and take you back into custody. Okay,
Yes,
so it
sir.
doesn't matter where you are. If you're eating out, if you're wherever it is, you're going to have to. This is going to have to be a priority. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, you have to report Monday by noon.
Monday by noon?
Monday by noon.
Would you want to consider?
Okay, sorry, you cut out.
No, not on these charges. As a matter of fact, I'm keep wavering and vacillating here as I should be putting her on pretrial.
Okay, Your Honor, thank
Okay.
you.
Christian Adams?
Is that the?
Is that one, ma'am?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor.
I provided a supplement on Mr.
Is that Mr. Adams at Maine? Yes?
He's in Maine, Your Honor, yes.
Judge Robinson found no PC on the first 2 counts of burg dwelling and grand theft. Her issue was identification. Your Honor, I provided a supplement that addresses the matter.
Well, I just need to figure out on count. She found probable cause on count 3, you're saying?
Yes, Judge.
Not 1 and 2.
No.
All right. There's still a problem with count 2, if I'm reading this right. Probably should have been petty theft because they don't seem to have any value listed here.
No, Your Honor. If you you know what, Your Honor? I'm sorry. It was the only issue was burglary because if you look at the original PC, I'm sorry. It puts the value of the generator at $700.
Actually, she found no PC
Well,
on 1 through 3. I'm looking at what she signed.
well, Your Honor, she didn't.
Okay. Well, we don't have to do your job for you, counsel.
No, I'm not suggesting that, Your Honor. Just
You know,
I mean, there's
I'm
really
just
no
looking what
new.
you signed.
I understand, Your Honor, and obviously I wasn't privy to what she signed. I just know what she said out loud.
Take it easy then. I'm gonna find probable cause on counts 1 and 3, ROR on count 2. Okay.
Yes, Your
Thank
Honor.
you, Your Honor.
So let's talk about a bond for count 1. What's the status to a record?
I see no Broward history. Does pretrial have any notes?
No, Your Honor,
I
Don't have
can
any paperwork at all.
I can run them in the system, Your Honor.
Good, please. All right, so let me set him aside. Did we ever, actually, we lost our, did Mr. Cavazos ever appear? Actually, he was on medical loan.
Yes.
Okay.
And Your Honor, our victim advocate left a message, and I believe she got a voicemail.
We didn't hold him here, did we, Mr. Cavazos?
He's on loan.
Did they ever call back, Mr. Guerrero?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
He could have called my office, but that's on the west building.
Okay. You can't get back and forth? When I'm over here now, I sit in one of the offices here, so I don't have to walk the football field distance away. Okay. All right, so with Mr. Cavazos and
One other misdemeanor.
all right, I'm going to leave Mr. Cavazos on $1,000 with a no contact order with Mr. Guerrero, but he's on medical reset, so if he can be reset, who's tomorrow? Does anybody know?
Judge Gold this weekend, I believe.
Mark Gold? Okay. So Judge Gold if you can put this back on tomorrow for Judge Gold to revisit on the issue of Alexander Guerrero. If he has no objection to pretrial, I have no objection to pretrial. If he calls, somebody could let Judge Gold know. Okay?
Your Honor, did we finish with Christian Adams?
No, we didn't.
And
I
maybe-
just was trying to, while the state was looking
Getting
up
it
his
right now.
record, I was trying to get a couple of loose ends tied up here.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to check.
Yes.
Your Honor, there's also Mr. Brian Kelly. He was the one I addressed earlier that was on my page 20 of my docket.
I have nobody here has paperwork for him.
He'll be on the. I imagine he'll be on the docket tomorrow.
They're telling me he's set for tomorrow.
He was already seen yesterday as well, though.
Was
So
he
this will be the
medical
third day
reset?
in a row.
Okay, well, give me just a second, okay?
Thank you.
Are we still looking at Mr. Adams?
I'm ready to. I
Go
just
ahead.
got it right now. Your Honor, first off, Mr. Adams, who also has an alias Christian Martinez, has a warrant for a failure to appear from late November 2016 out of. I'm trying to see it's another state. It's for loitering and prowling at night. It says he was attempting to open car doors. Out of Florida, 2012, out of Brevard County, grand theft. Resisting an officer with violence, battery on a law enforcement officer, 2012, out of Port St. Lucie. I'm getting hits out of New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, and Maine.
Okay. All right, we're going to set your bond, sir, at $25,000 on count 1. All right, so Mr. Shepard never showed up. Was this the one that they were saying was the security problem? Madam Public Defender?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was also just getting an email. I did not mean to be rude.
That's
on my
all
phone.
right.
It is in regards to magistrate's court as well, so I really
That's
don't.
okay. Do you remember at the beginning when they were calling, they wanted somebody that was a security issue?
Mr. Dixon, Your Honor.
Okay, so
I believe we saw him.
We did.
we did see him.
Yes, he was in the vest, Your Honor.
So the issue was, so Mr. Shepard so I have Mr. Shepard's paperwork who's not there. And I guess he'll be reset till tomorrow. And I don't have any paperwork for Mr. Kelly.
I'm sure he should be a Conti Shepherd. I guess they don't have.
He said there's nobody
Yeah,
else.
no, I understand that. It's just.
So Mr. Shepard's gonna have to be reset till tomorrow.
Okay.
He's missing.
It appears that Mr. Kelly was on the PM docket for yesterday. Magistrate.
So let's find out from the jail, what is Mr. Kelly being held on?
I've got him. I'm showing, Your Honor, and what he came to, okay. He came to yesterday in the possession of fentanyl, drug paraphernalia, and attaching a registration license plate not attached. He had a $1,000 bond. The confinement status employee informed the court he was going to be charged this morning for a violation of probation holds, and that's what's holding him now on counts 5 through 8.
5 through 8?
He was on.
He's on probation in 4 cases?
No, he's on probation for 2 cases. There was a warrant on each,
Okay.
and then they added 94806 holds on the new arrest on each.
So can we just tell him he's being held without bond?
I've got no problem with that.
Who is his assigned judge? Does anybody know?
I'll check that out right now.
Kelly?
I believe it's Judge Usan, Your Honor.
Okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
I hear a voice in the wilderness.
Conti?
Conti.
Are you looking for somebody at the Conti?
We were looking
Shepherd?
for somebody, and everybody's saying they're there, Mr. Shepherd, but you're telling me you don't have anybody else.
No, I mean, I can track him down if you like.
That's okay. He's not going anywhere anyway.
He's got no bond holds and
He's
stuff.
got no bond hold, so if we'll need to add him for tomorrow morning.
Yes,
Okay?
sir. Sorry
Thank
about
you.
that.
That's okay.
All right.
All right, Mr. Kelly, is he walking away?
That's my fault, Your Honor.
That's okay.
I thought we were finished.
I'm just trying to see when does Judge Usan have his next docket next week?
Let me see.
Can I just sign an order and just says like Mr. Kelly's cases will be set before Judge Usan on these
Judge
days?
Kelly is scheduled for the 18th, which I believe is Tuesday.
Not Judge Kelly.
I mean, Mr. Kelly's assignment for.
Mr. Kelly.
It's been a long morning.
That's okay. He's scheduled.
Tuesday, April 18th, 9 a.m.
And is that already on the docket?
Yes.
Okay, so you're already scheduled for those BOPs before Judge Usan on Tuesday, April 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Everybody have a good weekend. Is that it?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, if I may address one matter, I don't believe it's on the docket. My supervisor has informed me that we have someone that is being held on a closed capias. I have the case number.
On a closed capias?
Yes.
You mean in a,
It's Judge Miller's case, and I believe
is
it's
that the
closed.
only thing that's holding them?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the person's name?
It is Sean Charton, and the case number is 1600539 MM40A.
How do you spell Sean?
SHAWN. No.
I'll give you the arrest number. Sean. Is it Sean Charlton?
Charton, CHARTON.
Charlton.
Oh, okay, sorry, my supervisor sent me.
That's all right. Tanisha, it's 571-701-299.
So is it CHARL?
Yeah, Charlton.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't access Odyssey up here for some reason. So
I'm looking it up.
Guys.
See, I'm showing here. All right. All I see in Odyssey, Your Honor, it's one of these situations. He pled out a petty theft. Instead of court fees, court costs, Judge Miller let him do community service hours, but he had to show up at a later date to show proof of community service. He didn't show up to that hearing. A capias was issued. It's not showing that it was ever withdrawn. If the court's inclined.
If it's a closed case, that doesn't mean that you can't issue a warrant. If he didn't do what Judge Miller wanted him to do, she can issue a capias even after a case is closed by the clerk. So the fact that it's closed is of no import to the court.
I understand, Your Honor. My understanding from what I've been told is that that the case was handled and it was taken care of and that no warrant was issued. That was my understanding of it.
I don't actually, like I said.
Judge, I'm gonna print out the register of actions for you. Just so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So So you're saying the clerk issued on its own a warrant?
No.
It was what the public defender is
No,
saying.
what
'cause-
is, and I'll show the public defender when I'm printing out, it would appear,
So I do not have access to the system right now, Your Honor.
Or do I? I can't access it.
just from being in here, I'm just sort of familiar with Judge Miller's procedure. No, it was, when she pled out the case, and she.
I understand what you
Yeah,
said.
no, I'm just saying,
I
when he
understand.
didn't show up, she issued the capias in open court.
What is the date of the capias?
The capias was issued on the 28th of March, Your Honor.
Yeah, it's, oh, yeah, what is it, Dactus, you know, let me.
This is one of the credit cards.
Yeah.
There was he was set for a probable cause hearing on April the 7th before an assigned judge. So if there is an issue, it's not for the court to decide, it's for either Judge Miller to decide, and that needs to be addressed before her. But it clearly shows that he was set for a hearing on March the 28th for providing proof that he had completed 30 hours of community service. It shows that he did not show, and she issued a capias, as she is entitled to do. So, that's that.
Thank you, Your
Now,
Honor.
April the 8th, did you print out that, can you see that arrest paperwork, or the probable cause?
I'll check, Your Honor, but that's just,
No,
from.
because if the magistrate judge, the first appearance judge, issued time served,
I'll check.
then that would take care of that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, may I?
You may go. Thank you so much.
No, it was you, Judge, last Friday.
Oh, I have no, then it wasn't me, because I would have remembered community service.